is going to retouch my Thio relaxer. I do not use sodium hydroxide, I use Thio. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and this product is only available to licensed cosmetologists. So I'm using Design Essentials, their line of curl rearranger. So they have a line of products called Wave by Design, professional products that you can use for a jerry curl or curl reformation service to create curls and waves. And you can also use the straight variation. So on their website, under the professional portal, they list instructions for a straight variation. So typically with the jerry curl, you would apply this and then roll the hair and apply a neutralizer after rinsing it, and after rinsing the relaxer. But for the straight variation, you do not roll the hair and apply the second product. You just rinse the relaxer out and then comb it out and apply the neutralizer and let that process. So I wanted to document this because, one, I haven't seen a video on Thio relaxers for type 4 hair. And I also wanted to show that this product can be used in multiple ways. So first things first, before you do a relaxer service, you want to ensure that the scalp is protected as well as the hairline. According to their instructions, they want you to use the Define and Shine 2-in-1 to around the hairline to protect the hairline. On my scalp, so on the inner parts of my sections, my hair is sectioned into 4, I use their Calm Scalp Protectant. And so this is a like oily type gel, so it comes out like a gel, but it feels super oily, like really slick and hydrating. So I've been applying that to my scalp and around my ears as well, just to add some extra protection. And so my hair is in 4 sections, and I actually parted through each section a couple times and applied the calm to that. I like to be super careful with my hair. Next, the other thing that you can add to your ends, I like to protect my ends just because in the past I've had like lightener and like all kind of stuff hanging down here. It's almost cut all off, but I've had lightener and everything. So I like to use the ORS replenishing conditioner. I like this after my relaxers and just to protect my hair on the ends. Design Essentials also has the rosemary and mint stimulating conditioner. I'm not going to use this one because I'm doing a relaxer service. I don't want to irritate my scalp or anything. So that's why I'm using the replenishing conditioner. Uh-oh. Dropped it, y'all. Okay. So Thio is a straightening product. You do not use Thio with sodium hydroxide. You do not mix these two products. So if you have a regular like box relaxer or sodium relaxer, most relaxers are sodium hydroxide. So if you have one of those, you do not want to use Thio. My hair was completely virgin when I did a jerry curl and everything. So you do not want to add a relaxer. The other reason I want to make this video is because I had a jerry curl. I did a jerry curl on myself. Didn't really like it. I'd like to switch my hair up, but I wanted my hair to be straight, at least to blend in with weave and whatever. So I know from cosmetology school, they taught us that you can use Thio to straighten hair. Part of the curl reformation process is straightening the hair with a Thio relaxer. So I said, okay, you know what? If my hair falls out, it falls out. We're going to do this. And you can see my hair has been growing. I am due for a retouch. So my edges may look like, at least to me, they look a little thinner just because I've been super stressed. So my edges are trying to grow back. And on top of that, like I need something to maintain my hair with my busy crazy lifestyle. So what I'm gonna do is you apply Thio just like a sodium hydroxide relaxer. You apply it because it's not as strong as sodium hydroxide. So you do have to help it along. And because my hair is type 4, it needs a lot more help. Another note, you're gonna see that I'm using plastic clips, plastic combs. You do not want to use anything metal because it can react with this product. So I'm gonna use this just as I would in the salon. This is my studio down here. So I'm gonna open this up. It does have a strong smell. So, you know, if you are doing this service, you know, open a window if you can. And I'm gonna get a different comb. Open a window if you can so that you have proper ventilation. This too. My hair bestie got me this cute little spatula, and this actually comes off. So you pinch it and pull it out, and then it has an attachment, so you can switch it up. This is good if you're traveling or just you don't like to have a lot of tools. So I'm gonna use this to scoop out a good amount. I'm gonna fill this bowl about halfway because my hair is really thick, and then we'll start the smoothing process. So I'll put my bowl here, and then let's make sure I'm getting the front of it. Scoop it out. So this is, you want to scoop it out, especially if you are in a salon or if you have it at home. Like, you don't want to mix your hair or anything with product. Like, you don't want hair in here. You want to keep this sanitary. So make sure you just scoop that in there. Next, I'm going to apply gloves. So just like your normal whatever relaxer, sodium hydroxide, this is a chemical, so you do need gloves. Now you want to apply the relaxer to the most resistant part of your hair first. So for a lot of people it's the back of the head, it could be the front, but typically it's like the top and crown. So for me, that's where I'm starting because that's the most resistant. And in my last touch up, I didn't get in the back as much as I wanted to. So there's multiple techniques for applying a relaxer. The technique that I like to use is, one, I'm going to use this spatula to apply because I feel like it gets closer to the scalp. So I'm going to use the spatula, and I like to take a section and open up that section first. So I'm going to pull this section open, and I'm going to start at the bottom of the section. Okay. So I'm going to leave my nape out. I'm not going to lot of new growth back here. So the key to doing this, you know, without a mirror is practice. So I've used to do my relaxers years ago when relaxers were like the thing and popular and everything. But now I don't need to look at the mirror. So I don't like to use the same tool to part because it just slings product everywhere. I'm messy. So open up again. So one thing to note is, you know, when you are relaxing your hair, you may see like a lot of shedding, especially if it's been a while, because those hairs are getting trapped close to the scalp. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Now, if you're doing this at home, you don't want this to touch your scalp. So I would say go to a professional, have them do it because they can see back there. For me, I've never had any issues with reactions or burns, so I'm just gonna apply. I'm applying to the back first because that is the most resistant part of my scalp. So the back. Okay. So I've added through this section. Now I'm going to add product around the section, avoiding my nape. So I'm going to touch all areas around that section. Avoiding the nape. The reason why you avoid the nape and your edges in a relaxer till the end is because those areas are fine. So your finest hairs are in that area. So you don't want to over process them because that's where you get breakage. So now we're going to move on to the next section. Now the front of my hair is not as resistant, so I'm going to smooth this before I apply to the front. So again, turn around. So again, parting in the back. Holding that hair up. Okay. And then making another part. So I'm just slowly separating my hair. I don't want to use a comb because that can scratch the scalp. Now, a Thio relaxer is not as strong or as irritant as a sodium hydroxide relaxer. So, you know, if you do apply, as long as you apply scalp protectant, you'll be fine. But if you have open sores or anything like that, you do not want to have a relaxer service. You want to make sure that those sores or irritations are healed first. So do not. All right, it can cause hair loss in that area, chemical burns. There's a lot that can happen if you have irritation on your scalp before a relaxer. It is not worth it. Okay, so let that heal up and then get your service. So your stylist should always be checking what your scalp health is at your appointment. They shouldn't just be going in and slapping a relaxer on you. They need to do a strand test as well, because you could have something in your hair that you didn't tell them about that will cause irritation and breakage. So always try to remember what you put on your hair, and your stylist should be performing a strand test. All right, now that we finished that section, and I'm actually gonna, let me pin this one up so you can see. So now that we finished that section, we're gonna go all the way around with the cream. So apply it, and even again, I'm avoiding this under the ear portion. Okay, so I'm not applying relaxer there until the very end because that's my edges. Okay, they're not in the front, but still my edges. Okay. So I'm gonna come all the way around the back, avoiding that nape. Okay. Next, so the front of my hair gets straight super fast. It's always been like that. So I'm gonna smooth the back. So smoothing the Thio relaxer, and I didn't come around this side. So come around this side. Okay. So smoothing the Thio relaxer is you take each section just like when we applied, and you're gonna smooth it out with your fingers. So we're gonna take this top section, and we're going to smooth the cream through the hair. Okay. So we're just putting it in between our fingers. You can also use the back of a comb to smooth the hair out as well. Okay. So I remember my stylist, she used to smooth the outside, then go inside. But it's whatever works for you. Okay. And I can feel my curls loosening. So just go in If you're going to use the back of the comb, use the back of the comb. Okay. So we are applying a Thio relaxer. This is not sodium hydroxide. Okay, Thio is a little bit gentler on the hair. And I've not seen anyone do a straight version of a Thio relaxer on type 4 hair. So this is the other side. And we're going to start at the top and just smooth it out. Okay. Smooth it out. You're going to smooth multiple times. You want to make sure that you are being thorough. So I didn't apply relaxer at the bottom. So I'm not going to smooth that area yet. Alright. So you can see that it's like melting into the hair. Okay. So it's not like a sodium hydroxide. You see it the whole time. This really, okay, so now you can see a little bit of the line there. All right, next, front of the hair. So remember, I added the protective lotion that they recommended around my edges, because we need edges, right? And I'm actually might add a little bit more. So we need edges. We want to make sure that we have edges after this. A lot of people that say relaxers take my edges out. No, it's improper application and knowledge that takes your edges out, okay? So in the front, I'm actually going to start on the left side. So another thing about relaxing your hair, if you relax the same side first over and over and over again, that side can thin out. So this is a delicate process. You know, can thin out over time. So you want to make sure you're changing up your application to your hair's thickness and just noting any changes. Okay. So with the front of my head, I know that I can get through it with a comb because it's not as thick as the back of my head. So I'm just going to add it. And I can actually get through it with my tool here. Put that down. And okay. So remember, we're just going in stacks on this section from the ear up to the top of the head. All right, so we're just going in stacks. Just going in stacks. Right. Okay. Just going in stacks. Wow. Okay. Then, this is the last portion in this section. So I'm going to go at the top. And make sure that you apply enough product. This is a much thinner product than sodium hydroxide. And so now that we're done with that, we're going to go around the back side here. So the back of this section, lift that forward and apply around this section. Okay. Now we're gonna smooth and move on. So take our comb, go back to this area, smooth. Okay, smooth it with the comb or your fingers, whichever works for you. And you want to smooth it as straight as you want it. So you smooth it more if you want less texture. For type 4 hair, Thio does leave more texture than a sodium hydroxide, which is another reason why I like it. You get like a kinky straight texture almost. Or like a yaki, not like a silky yaki, but like a kinky yaki kind of texture. So it's not as silky straight, which is good. Now for Thio, the other thing too, because you can see that I'm kind of overlapping. When you do a Jerry curl service, the hair, you overlap with the product each time. So with a Thio relaxer, overlapping is not as harmful as with a sodium hydroxide, in my opinion. That's just for my hair. I don't offer this service because not everyone is aware of what a Thio relaxer is, and you cannot buy this over the counter. So that's just my opinion from what I've seen the past 3 times that I've done this. So I think the most important part is just caring for your hair with protein treatments and Olaplex treatments. You can alternate those every 2 weeks. So do 1 protein treatment, then in 2 to 3 weeks you do an Olaplex and alternate that with a protein treatment. So too much of anything is terrible. So do not do a protein treatment after applying a relaxer. Your hair will break off. You will be bald head. So this part is real resistant. You can see my hair is really resistant right up in here, right at the top. Always been like that. So we're applying to both sections. And then, so I probably have about an inch or 2 of new growth. Because it has been quite a while, so just know, like, I got a lot of new growth. Okay. So there are some over-the-counter Thio relaxers that you can get as a consumer. I just wouldn't recommend it because you may forget that you have this on your head. Alright, so this is the last section, the top. And I'm going to come around to the back of the section. Okay. And so now we're going to smooth the front section. So, smoothed it here. So, you can tell that it's already like laying down something. So, let's do the other side. Smooth with your fingers. Smooth with your fingers here. And I'm really smooth in this area where I know my hair is resistant. Okay. And take note, I'm smoothing with the back of the comb, not the front of the comb. Not the front. Okay. So now that The relaxer is all the way smooth through the hair. Now we can do the back, nape around the ears and everything. So I'm gonna lift up the back of my head. Remember, I've already protected my scalp, and we're gonna add this around the nape. Make sure if your nape is weird shape, you go all the way down. And on the side, so up here, around the ear. Oh, I felt a big something fell. Something dripped on me. So be careful of that. Okay. And then, so that's the back. I'm just gonna smooth that up. Keep smoothing that. Now, the front and around the ears. So for me, this is where my hair is super resistant. It does not like these little pieces do not like being tamed at all. So, okay. And on the other side, lift it up. And like I said, my ear, this area does not like being smoothed down. Never has. Okay. So boom, application is done. Application is done. So I'm gonna set a timer, and it tells you to remain on the hair for 10 minutes. Okay. So from start to finish, it's been about 10 minutes. So I'm going to give it just 5 more now that we're done with the application. To give those last sections time to smooth out too. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. This is a Thio relaxer, so it is not all the way straight. Okay. But you can feel the difference in your hair. You can feel that your hair is, one, is warming up a little bit because there's chemical reaction happening, exothermic reaction, and 2, your hair will get smoother. Okay. So the next steps, because we are at 30 minutes already on this live. So the next step is to rinse the rearranger from the hair. And then you will apply shampoo, condition, and then neutralize. Okay. Let me make sure I read that right. Hold up. Okay. Rinse hair. Yes. Okay. So you're gonna shampoo it, rinse it through first, shampoo, add conditioner. I'm sorry. Rinse it first, add your neutralizer. So rinse it all the way out because the bonds are still broken. So you want to add the neutralizer to keep it straight. Okay. Process, and then you will condition. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna treat this as your regular relaxer. You apply it, you add your neutralizer, and then you treat your hair. Because our hair is gonna be straight, we don't have to add rollers or anything like that. So If you have a widow's peak, make sure you get that slick too. So this is, like I said, I use a Thio relaxer. You only use Thio with Thio. And do not mix sodium hydroxide and Thio together. I wanted to see that the application is possible. And then I'll come back with another video so you can see what my hair looks like after I've shampooed it, styled it, and everything.